Hello, everyone, and welcome to Impossible to Say. My name is Kat Wellington.
And my name is Emily Proctor. Hello, Kat. How are
Hey,
you?
guys. I am good. I do want to give a disclaimer that I can't stop sniffling. I'm just the most congested I've ever been, not to be dramatic. So if you're hearing that, like, I do feel horrible. That is disgusting, but I'm going to try to avoid it.
I'm so sorry that you're down in the dumps.
No, it's okay. It's a common cold and I will get through it. It's just like starting to seem a little bit less common than I'm used to.
I completely understand. I do think the COVID is going back around, which is really sweet because it's her 5-year anniversary. So she's just making her rounds again, which is
I
nice.
really didn't think this bitch was gonna like last this long. I mean, I guess we were saying that in like 2020. I just can't believe COVID. I hopefully don't have COVID. That would be so embarrassing, but I'm hoping it's just a cold. I did buy some nasal spray. And another thing to complain about, my ears have been popped
I
since New
hate
Year's.
that.
Mhm.
What? Wait, what? Since New
Like
Year's?
truly since New Year's, I'm having trouble like figuring out if I'm experiencing some sort of like not OCD, obviously. I know I'm not using that
Hmm.
lightly. I don't have OCD, but like after Big Bear, I couldn't stop feeling like they were popped because we drove up in the mountains. And then since then, I feel like they're popped. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should go to urgent care and get that taken care of because it just feels like there's pressure in my head all the time. And I have health
Hmm.
insurance, so that's something I should do. But I haven't made it over there yet. But I might soon because I'm gaslighting myself out of it. Like I'm gonna go and they're gonna be like, your ears are
They're gonna
fine,
be like,
baby.
"Nothing's wrong with you." Yeah, well, that is the benefit of, like, having healthcare and paying for your health insurance, but I understand, like, it's daunting making that appointment.
It really is, but I should use it, I guess, if I'm paying for it. I also
Yeah.
have, if you're watching on YouTube, I have my new wallpaper samples behind me. So I am sorry about that. I haven't picked one yet. I'm trying to decide which color I want to do my office. So then, whatever color I choose, you guys will be seeing every week. So let me know, even though you can
I
only
didn't
see like a couple in this.
I didn't take that into my consideration, like, when voting. Also, are you doing every wall or just the back wall?
Everyone.
Every wall. Okay, fuck, I might have to go take another look. I, like, seriously love every color, though. Like, I think all of
I
them look
really
so
do
good.
too. That's why I'm having an issue. I wanted to do something really dark, like the blue.
I
Um,
love the blue.
I really love the blue, but now I'm thinking it might be too dark for one podcast and two just in general. But we'll see you guys. Let me know. The colors are on my Instagram if you want to go weigh in. Thank you. And I am reading
I
everyone's opinions. I think the most popular one was three, which I'm pointing to, and I
Mhm.
don't even know if it'll be in frame. And I do like that one, and it is what I'm leaning towards as well.
I'm gonna say my least favorite is, like, the brown tan one. I don't really fuck with that one that much.
Well, here's the thing about the brown tan is that it's green,
Oh,
but
okay.
it
Well,
comes
maybe that's
off
more
brown
reason as to
tan
why.
on
Yeah,
camera.
it's giving
But then
brown.
also like, yeah, but then I'm also like, if it's coming off that way on camera, it probably would just look that way when you first look too. So I think I am ruling that one out.
I and also, like, 5, the last one, like, the one that's, like, a little bit more, like,
Yeah,
darker. Fuck, I like them
I,
all. Where are
I,
they from, by the
they're
way?
from Spoonflower, which it's peel and stick wallpaper because I'm in a rental. And it is crazy expensive. So I have no fucking clue how to calculate how many rolls I would possibly need because there's
Of
arches and
course.
windows. So I'm like, do you need this is okay with wallpaper, like do I need to buy I don't know. Like, do you go on to the next panel if the window? I don't really know how to like line it up.
No
So
clue.
praying that my handyman Alex, who doesn't speak English, but I love dearly, praying that he's able to figure that out after I acquire it.
Yeah, just TaskRabbit that shit or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we actually offlined off of TaskRabbit. I got him
Oh,
on
nice.
TaskRabbit, and now I just get his flat rate. So
Oh, that's really nice.
sorry, we probably had a hard cut there because Emily's dog came in. Also, I did want to say one thing. My cat's sitting on me right now. Have you ever had a cat that farts?
Um, no. No, dogs, yes. Cats, not really.
I mean, dogs rip ass like it is their full-time job, but
Yeah.
Junior farts and they
Look at him right
smell
now. Oh my god. He looks
they
so funny.
smell rancid and he's so cute and little, but like he just got on top of me and farted. So thank you.
Oh my god. That
I
is
know.
absolutely insane. Don't know if I've
Right?
ever experienced that.
Anyway, yeah, he reeks, but he's really cute, so it's fine.
I mean, look at him right now. He's perched.
He's perched. And then also, my dad and sister are visiting me right now. My sister's 12 and she really wanted to stay for the recording. But you never know what stories we're gonna read. And then also, I was like telling them like I don't want anyone listening while I'm recording, but then I put it out to the public. But you know what I mean? Like I don't want them in here when I'm recording.
No, it's completely different. I totally understand. I mean, when I first started recording at Kyle's parents' house, I was like, this is actually my worst nightmare because you can like genuinely hear everything that goes on in the house. I get it. You can't have a live audience. We're not there yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet, and you can just hear everything in this house. She was like, "I promise I won't come down," but I know she would come down. I know she'd be, like, at the steps listening. But we have had a great time. It's been, like, a day and a half now. I yesterday it's of course, it's raining the whole time, but yesterday, was the only nice day, so it's kinda nice having a kid around because we did the only thing she wanted to do was scooter, which is hilarious, like, electric scooter, which is, like
Yeah,
I was like,
I
"Well,
love that.
okay, we can go by the beach and scooter." And then we didn't want her on any main roads, obviously, and you can't scooter on the bike path on the beach, like, the scooters won't work. Um, so she was just scootering. She's never scootered before 'cause she's never been allowed. And, like, in theory, I don't think she's supposed to be doing that, but she was in a parking lot by herself just, like and we could only do one because only what my phone was set up. And my phone was about to die, so I just let her go until it died, and she had the best time just scootering around a parking lot. Truly her
Mm.
highlight, I think.
What were you doing in the
Oh, but me
meantime?
and my dad were just waiting for her.
Sitting
We
on the
got on a
curb?
couple times. Yeah, it was like 15 minutes. And then we went mini golfing, and then we went to Griffith Observatory, which is you know what that is,
Mm,
right?
mhm, I do.
Yeah, so we went there, and it was gorgeous. And now today we've been eating, and I painted pottery just now. Went pretty
Oh
well.
my
Painting
gosh, what'd
pottery
you
is great.
make? I
I
I miss painting pottery. I remember those, like, birthday parties growing up, they were so fun.
They're so fun. I made a little box and I did like a window with a flower bed on the top, and then
Mm,
I in the middle of the box I wrote more flowers because I just thought that could be cute, and I saw someone
that
do that
is
on a
cute.
canvas once. So pretty much everything I do artistically, I just steal from other people. I feel horrible, but I mean the window was my original.
You're just enhancing.
I just like the things where it's like cursed with Um, it's not like I'm that good of an artist, but, like, I feel like I'm an okay
She is.
painter,
She's good.
and well, I'm, like, fine, it's not like anything exceptional, you know what I mean? But I can
Yeah.
paint, but I have no ideas, so I'm, like, blessed with the talent, cursed with no creativity is the phrase I think the kids are using.
I feel like that way about, like, genuinely, like, everything that I do, and I
Me
feel like
too.
part of the reason is, like, AI and, like, ChatGPT and, like, I'm just, like, constantly like, I can't even come up with an email off the dome, like, I have to search, like, email templates on Google now. It's so bad. My brain is,
I
like,
mean, to
fully
be
rotted.
fair, we were given the resources, like, if I have Pinterest, so what am I supposed to do, not look at it?
Yeah,
Like
of course.
and what was crazy is last night we were supposed to watch La La Land, which I was obviously so
Ugh.
excited about because we went to the Griffith Observatory, so I was like,
Mhm.
"I have to show Josie La La Land." Um, and then she wanted to actually watch something horror or thriller, which I was not comfortable with. Um, but obviously we compromised. But anyway, my point is she's 12 and instead of just like scrolling through movies, she's on Chat GBT talking about or like
No.
telling it what kind of movie she wants to watch. And I was like, "Are you
That's
joking?"
so scary. That's so
It which is
scary.
smart, like, it truly is smart, but then we're in the situation where she's listing off random movies to me, and I'm like, I don't know what streaming they're on, baby, like, I can't just be searching random movies, and I have no idea what these are. So we ended up watching some Leighton Meester movie where a girl dies.
Wait,
I've
the
let me
roommate
know.
sh
What? What's it
Does she
called?
have a roommate? Does she have
No,
a roommate in the
n
movie?
not the roommate one. I have seen that one.
Oh
I
my god, the
remember
one where
seeing
she
that
rips
when
her belly button piercing out, that's the only thing I can think about that movie because y'all
I
know
think
I
I
do not
saw
fuck with
that
belly
with
buttons.
you when we were young because I
Oh my
remember seeing
god.
that at an age where I like really remembered it.
Yeah.
Um, I actually don't remember what it was called at all, thank you, but it was like a girls' weekend. It was a book, and then she got too scared to finish it, so I just Googled the ending because I was like, I need to know what happens,
Yeah.
who killed the girl. But then we ended up finishing it this morning when it was light out. Thank you, and I'm sure you
Well,
guys were curious.
that makes the most sense, obviously. I mean, I feel like the best time to watch a horror movie is either, like, a little bit tipsy with your friends, I mean, you can all chat about it, or in broad daylight, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. It got a little creepy, especially if you're 12. So I do understand. But that's been
That's so
fun.
random for her to choose that over La La Land. She doesn't
Mm.
understand. She doesn't,
She,
like, appreciate La La Land yet. She wouldn't.
she wanted us to be seeing something for the first time, which I do understand that feeling, but I was trying to explain that every time I watch La La Land, I will be equally as excited about it.
Yeah,
Because she was like,
100%.
"You've seen it before?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "How many times?" And I was like, I mean, if I had to like actually guess, probably like 8, but realistically, probably more." And she did not like that answer. So
You shoulda just lied.
I know I really should have. I
Well,
did watch
speaking
the
of
Love is. Oh wait,
movies,
go ahead.
no,
I do want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear.
I saw Nora this weekend, and it first of all, I don't know what happened. I don't know if because it won so many awards at the Oscars that my movie theater just decided to bring it back because they were doing, like, this special, like, cinephile $7 ticket thing. So
Oh,
it was, like,
fun.
literally I was so happy. Kyle and I went to go see it. The first, like, hour of the movie, I mean, my cheeks, like, literally hurt from, like, smiling and, like, laughing. Like, it was so beautiful and so good. Obviously, it's, like, dark and
Yeah, I was
heavy.
gonna say I didn't expect the laughing and cheeks hurting.
Yeah. Well, it's nice because it is like, obviously, the topic is heavy, but then there's some, like, comedic relief throughout,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. The ending, it was Kyle and I were like, "Jesus fucking Christ, that's really brutal." But it was so good. I completely understand why it won Best Picture, and I absolutely understand why Mikey Madison won Best Actress. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she was so phenomenal. Like, I'm full blown obsessed with her now. Um, can't really compare with The Substance yet, and Demi Moore not winning because I haven't seen it, but it's next on my
Mm-hmm.
list. It was so good. Like, I can't wait for you to watch it. I feel like you're really gonna love it.
I'm so excited. I was looking for movies for me and my sister and my dad to see, and I saw it still at some theaters. So I was wondering, and then I knew you had seen it. So I don't
Mhm.
know if it was just like still out or I don't know, but I might
Yeah.
find a theater to go see it because I think that would be a good experience too.
It gets a little slow in the middle. I think I ended up giving it either 4 or 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. It got a little slow and to the point where I was like, "Okay, we need to pick up the pace. I'm losing interest." But
Right.
otherwise, it was still really, really good. So
So since you gave it a 4 and you gave a complete unknown a 5, do you feel like that's accurate or was that before you were before
so
your rating
I'm
system was
realizing
really
I'm
done?
realizing, yeah, that I'm just, like, way too generous in my ratings, so I did change A Complete Unknown a while ago down to 4.
Okay, I
So I
didn't know
changed
you
a
could
complete
change. That's nice.
yeah,
Normalize
mhm,
changing your mind.
yep, and I did give Anora 4.5. The only movie I've given 5 stars so far this year was Nosferatu,
Okay, that seems
and
fair.
I stand by that because I kept thinking, I was like, "Did I like Anora more than I like Nosferatu?" And I was like, "I really liked Anora, but I don't think I liked it more than Nosferatu." I feel like if I had to pick which one to watch again, I would be picking Nosferatu for sure,
Okay, well yeah,
and
that
won't
makes
be
sense. And
saying
you left that movie and you loved it. So
eh,
that's great.
so good. So good. There's an extended
Okay.
cut out on streaming that I'm gonna get to at some point, so
Well, I was gonna tell you that I watched the Love Is Blind reunion, which is not as serious as
mhm.
Honora, but I I just wanted to debrief with the girls who were paying attention. Emily hasn't watched, but I'll give her my opinion on the reunion, which I know she's seen some on Twitter and stuff, but so strange always. I don't think Netflix will ever fully understand how to do a reunion. I know Bravo's been doing it like way longer, but it's really like It's not that hard to understand. And I think, like, in the past, like last year at the reunion or last season, because they pump out like 16 a year. Last season, I felt like they focused like too hard on the internet stuff. They were like, we want to give all the juicy gossip, but then they're
I
like
remember that,
giving
yeah.
relevancy, which I, to an extent, like I like. I'm like, yeah, I want this
Mhm.
answered, even though it wasn't on the show. It's still like relevant. And they didn't do that as much this this season, which I'm fine with. But then they added in like all we need to hear about is the controversial things throughout the season. Like we need to talk about each conflict from this season. They're bringing out like the top 5 moments from all of Love Is Blind history. We don't need to recap like something from past Love Is Blind seasons. We just really don't. That's the thing. Like we enjoyed them at the moment. We don't need to be doing recaps of those. I don't know whose idea that was that like they thought that was a good idea. Um and they weren't like they're the most memorable moments. Yeah, I remember them, but like I didn't need to be reminded.
I feel
Um,
like until they get Vanessa and Nick Lachey out of there as hosts for the reunion, I feel like it's always gonna be bad because they are insufferable.
I agree. And like even 90 Day, I'm having trouble remembering that host's name right now. Um, Sean. It's a woman named Sean, and she's really great at it because like Nick and Vanessa don't really know how to ask the right follow-up questions. And I think they've been so highly criticized with how they host that they'll kind of just let them talk and then they'll like hard cut it. And they try not, I could tell they were trying not to give as many personal opinions as they normally do and like personal context, which in the end from them is probably a better solution, but it just like falls flat every single time. And then at the end, I thought I was hallucinating or something. Do you know the guy on TikTok named Alex Warren? And I'm sorry if we have any fans. This is like nothing personal to him. He
No,
married a
you
girl
know
named
I don't pay attention to TikTok names, which is so annoying. I'm looking him
he's
up
like
right
not
now.
someone I think you would know. He married a
Mhm.
girl named Cover. He was just like very 2020, like maybe Hype House, maybe like that group. He
hmm,
kind of got
I've
famous
got
for
eyes, but
copying David Dobrik's style of like content, and everyone was kind of just making fun of him for ripping David Dobrik's whole energy. But regardless, I've had him
ugh.
blocked for years. And this is not a personal block. You guys know how I am. It's just like if I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. And so he's been blocked. So imagine my shock when he shows up on in my safe space in a reunion performing a song. And it's not even that the performance was bad. I was just
Oh,
like,
wait, I did see
why?
people talking about that, being like, "Why is this even happening?" I remember.
Yeah, it was a it was like a performance in the which I actually was a cool concept, but they had like the bands in the pods and it was a whole shot thing. Pretty cool. Why? No one asked for it. No one wanted it.
Did they have anything, like, of substance to talk about from this season? Because we've got performance, we've got montage. I don't understand, or, like, top 5 moments montage.
I
I
mean,
don't get it.
they did let the couples kind of get into what happened after the fact, which it just kind of turned out that most of the men right after the show like sucked so bad, even worse than on camera, obviously. There was one couple, which this girl, she ate down. Her name's Virginia. And she like they had a couple on-screen conversations where she was like trying to get him to talk about his politics. And he wouldn't really answer about like gay people or abortion,
Huh.
how he felt about a woman's choice to an abortion. Um,
Huh.
so then he like wouldn't answer. So the scenes were awkward because it was like just her asking, and you could tell she wanted to get it on camera because it wouldn't make sense when she said no, because she said no. Only one couple got married, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then at the reunion, she said, I don't even feel comfortable like telling you what his beliefs are, but I can tell you what mine are that differed. And it was basically just like, I obviously believe a woman has a right to choose. I believe someone should love who they want to love. So she kind of like ate with that because it just left him like kind of looking like an idiot. There was 2 girls who didn't pick their men because they were wishy-washy on their politics, which I actually thought was really cool.
Didn't one of them get back together with them after, though?
That was another thing. They both, like, kind of hung out with them after, so
Yeah.
it kind of takes away the, like, the oomph of it
The
a little
punch.
bit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the
Yeah,
day, I am glad that they didn't marry them, I guess.
marry them, yeah. So, obviously, the clip of, it was the blonde woman who I'm assuming is Virginia, possibly.
No,
Um,
that's, Virginia's black. That is a different woman that I can't remember her name.
okay,
Thank
because
you.
she, I guess, had similar
Yeah,
beliefs.
it
Like,
was
she did the
similar.
same thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, that video, is making its rounds on, conservative Twitter, and
Mm.
basically, men are quoting it being like, "This is, like, absolutely fucked up, like, this is crazy just because of someone, um, doesn't think someone should get vaccinated," and, like, all this crazy shit. But then I'm also seeing tweets where women are like, "This is how we have to tackle, like, this raging conservatism in, like, young men. This is the only way that we're gonna get through to them is by literally, like, choosing not to bow to their beliefs and, like, spend our lives with them," which is true, I think.
Yeah, yeah, so they did touch on that, but it felt like every couple, like, didn't get enough time almost with their
Mhm.
explanations. It was very just short, like, "This is what happened," and then Nick and Vanessa would be like, "Alright, thank you guys," and I'd be like, "Okay, well, I have a couple more questions." But thank you guys, and
Damn.
here's the number 4 most memorable moment from Love Is Blind history, because that's what I wanna
God, that
see.
pissed me the fuck off. That is
I
terrible.
know.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch another season. I didn't watch the DC one. I didn't watch this one. I don't know if I can pick it back up.
Yeah, I mean, and the couple that ended up getting married was, like, very sweet, no drama, and happy for them, but it wasn't even I didn't feel, like, excited about it, you know, because it was kinda just
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, they're great." I don't really
they're
know.
together. Yeah.
And then there was one other guy I thought was kind of interesting, like, he was kind of the hero of the season. A lot of people were like, "He's so well-spoken and respectful," and his name is Joey, I'm talking about, and he just wasn't into her the whole time, I guess, it wasn't clear that she was in the friend zone the whole time, so then I guess she kinda got played after the show. All the girls kinda got played after the show is what I was seeing.
Well, at least it was off
So,
camera,
yeah,
I
I
guess.
guess, but
Sort of.
they you know what? At the end of the day, our girls made the right decision because all the guys were horrible, and here's the question that we're always continuously asking. If you are like if you know and you know if you're someone who should not be in that situation, like if you're a man, you like Joey, not the most attractive man I've ever seen, definitely like very nerdy. Um, Clearly is pretty picky about women, and he says that a lot. He's very picky. I don't think you should be going on a show like that if you're very picky. And then the other guy, another guy said he like likes to kind of he didn't say this, but he's used to a girl with like Botox and filler and like very like I think he thought his girl wasn't hot enough when she was like gorgeous. And I'm like, if you know your taste in women is like a 12 out of 10, like, or it's a very specific like type of woman.
Like, physical attributes, like, are very
Yeah, if you have
specific.
physical
Yeah.
attributes that will be deal breakers, it's just not the show. I don't understand why you would do that.
Do you remember what from maybe season 2 or season 3, that guy that went on and ended up with Deep Tea? Um,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
he basically was like, "Yeah, sorry, I just, like, want my wife to be hot, like, I really care about looks, not about personality," and everyone was like, "Why the fuck are you here?" What was his name? Fuck, I don't even remember. He was the worst.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. I can picture him though. Yeah, and
Mm.
Deep T was gorgeous, and that's the thing. Like these men are getting these women that are objectively beautiful. Like Love Is Blind is not picking fuggos. Like we clearly are seeing that, and they're like, no, that's actually not enough. Like I need someone that's like completely. Which I really think all the women were really pretty. So I don't. It's just beyond me.
That's
Um,
really scary. Where was this, season based?
Minneapolis.
Hmm. I don't know much about that part of town, but
I
I
don't
feel like
really either.
now I know all I need to know, so
Yeah. So anyway, that was a lot kind of, but I did think that was fucking hilarious. I just can't Netflix cannot do a reunion that I'm satisfied with. I don't think they ever will.
if the show was on Bravo, it would genuinely be like 10 times better. And speaking of Bravo, I started rewatching Vanderpump because I like literally have nothing to watch right now, other than
Mhm.
Girls. But I feel like I can't watch Girls at my in-laws' house because of all the sex, all the
Yeah.
weird, kinky, freaky fetish sex I've
Yeah.
never seen before.
Right.
Um, so I started watching Vanderpump again, and you guys, it's literally the best TV, hands down. Like
We've
season
told them a
1,
million times.
I know, and I'm just here to remind y'all, it's the fucking best. Nothing is like it. Nothing is like it.
Yeah, and then also, like, I went from watching I skipped to when Bethany Frankel comes back in Real Housewives of New York. I went from watching that three-part reunion with Andy Cohen, which
Oh my
still
god,
wasn't
to
even
Love
the
Is
most, like
Blind.
which still, like, wasn't even really the most exciting reunion of Housewives I've seen. Like, usually they're, like that reunion was fairly tame, and it was still just so much better, and then, like, watching Love Is Blind after, it's just so different.
It's a waste
Um
of time.
it's a waste of my life, but I did have to tune in, and, like, for me to say that I won't tune in the future is probably a lie, so
I just, like, think I need you to, like, vet the season for me, and then I'll decide if it's worth tuning in. I just feel like this one, it had nothing for me in it.
yeah, that's totally fine.
So,
I'm able to do that. And the last thing we'll say about before we move on about TV, some people have been asking me, pod listeners and other people, if I'm gonna watch the new Vanderpump, which I don't know when it comes out, and I will give anything a chance. I just can't imagine that it would ever live up to the old Vanderpump in the slightest, which not that it necessarily has to. I don't expect it to. But I don't know if there's like I just feel like it's a different show. It shouldn't even have the same name because reality TV isn't like that anymore.
yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, especially watching, like, season 1, like, they'll never be able to recreate that. Like, I mean, it was literally filmed in what, 2009? Like, there's never
Yeah.
gonna be anything like that again. Um, I'm more excited for The Valley, like, the new season of The Valley than I am for the new season of Vanderpump. I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, me too.
Did you see Jax came out and said that he had a coke problem?
No, I didn't.
He said, "Yeah, like, believe it or not, like, I've actually been addicted to coke for, like, a really long time."
I do believe it. Thank you. It's like the most obvious
Like,
shit I've ever heard in my life.
okay, we've been
Thank you for
knowing.
thank you for letting me know. Okay, I think we
Oh,
should move on to stories. Sorry to cut. I keep cutting Emily off, but that's because my family
I
is going to
don't
come back, and
care.
then we're going to have to stop.
I don't give
Um,
a fuck.
I have an advice if you want me to start.
God, yeah, I would love that.
Hi guys, I've been dating my boyfriend for around 3 months and things are going super well. I'm completely in love with him and he is literally perfect for me. Recently, he brought up something that has been popping up in his mind and I'm wondering y'all's take on it and if you have any advice on what I should do. We first met at a bar and he was with one of his close friends who we can call Ben. Ben is the type of guy that is very conventionally attractive. Like every girl he meets probably thinks he's hot. I think my boyfriend is also really attractive, but when we first met, me and all the friends I was with were like, oh my God, okay, Ben is hot. When my boyfriend first asked me out, I was very excited because he's a cute guy and I could already tell we had a lot in common. Anyways, fast forward to a few weeks after me and my boyfriend started dating, he mentioned that when we first met, he thought I was into Ben, which made him hesitant to make a move. Sorry, I'm obviously like completely brain dead, can't read anyway. I told him that I was not attracted to Ben and I was into my boyfriend and he had absolutely nothing to worry about. A little white lie because when I first met them both, I did think Ben was cute, but once I got to know them, I was way more attracted to my boyfriend because we are so compatible. We didn't talk about this at all for a few weeks and everything has been going well. But a few nights ago, we hung out with Ben, and the next day, my boyfriend said that he noticed when I was talking to Ben, I was touching my hair a lot. He said he knows he doesn't need to worry and he trusts me. He just can't get the thought out of his mind that I think Ben is attractive. I gave him a lot of reassurance when he brought it up, but I'm not sure if I should do or say anything else. I'm definitely going to be very conscious of how much I touch my hair moving forward. I didn't notice anything when we were with Ben, and I was not thinking about him in that way at all. Also, for context, my boyfriend has OCD, so he gets stuck in these thought cycles sometimes. So, anyways, let me know if you have any advice or if you think there's anything else I should do.
Well, the hair twirling does sound like some harmless accidental flirting, I feel like.
I
Um,
disagree. I feel like
I
it's
don't know,
like
I just feel like I can just, like, picture, like, the scene, it's, like, giggling, twirling your hair. I'm not saying she did anything wrong, I can just, like, I can understand it. And yeah, so what if he's a little cute and he makes you a little nervous when you talk? Whatever. Um, but her boyfriend having OCD, I feel like makes sense that he is being so vocal about it because he like literally probably can't get it out of his head. So I think the fact that you're reassuring him is great. And I definitely don't feel like anything would ever happen between her and Hot Ben. So I feel
Well, I
like,
feel like until I read the sentence about the OCD, which like you said, does add some context, I think I would have
mhm,
just been like, that's annoying and he's insecure. But if it's
yeah,
something that he's like not able to let go of, but even with OCD and he knows he has OCD and he's having like these recurring thoughts, like he can't keep voicing it forever. Like nothing is gonna happen with Ben, and he
yeah.
should just like trust her, you know?
Yeah, I think what she said, like, just keeping in mind how she's acting, which can be annoying, but keep in mind how she is acting when she is around both of them will help. And just making sure, like, you're getting some good, like, physical contact in when you're with your man in front of Ben, but obviously don't overdo it because of the OCD, because then I feel like he's gonna be like, "You're really rubbing it in Ben's face." I don't
Oh
know.
my God. I don't really feel like she needs to change anything, like, with her I just think, like, some people are conventionally attractive. Like, there's obviously like,
And
your
you might
boyfriend
twirl
might
your
have
hair when you
hot
talk to them, like,
your boyfriend might
okay?
have hot friends, and that doesn't, like there's still you still might think other people are objectively attractive when you have a boyfriend, obviously. Like,
Well,
what?
yeah, you have to. It's scary if you stop. Oh my
It's
god.
weird. It's not like you
That's like
wanna
one of the
fuck
joys
them.
in life,
I know.
looking at
So
hot people.
my advice is to really not like I don't think you need to change your behavior. I don't think you need to do anything really other than like if he does bring it up, just be like, I'm not like I would probably
"Babe,
get
I
annoyed,
love you.
honestly.
I don't love
Yeah.
Ben." I feel like you can't though because, like, at least for now, like, while, like, in the beginning, like, just r good reassurance when he does bring it up, but, like, if it
Yeah.
does
No.
last for a while, then I feel like, yeah, you can be like, "Dude,
I mean, I
relax."
guess like roles reversed. Like I think I'm saying that because I'm like he's annoying, but I think if like if my boyfriend met me and another friend and he was like, "Oh my God, she's so hot." And then we ended up dating, I'm sure I'd have the same insecurity. So I do understand, I guess. So I guess reassurance is the answer here. But I don't think, as far as like things you need to change and do, I really don't think there's anything you need to change. Um,
Yeah.
and that's my take on it.
So
And
keep twirling
then,
your hair when you talk to him,
yeah.
obviously.
I
You
mean,
flutter your eyelashes.
I'm wondering if I don't think I do that when I flirt. Like, do you think you do that when you flirt?
I'm, like, trying to, like, picture myself, like, if I'm, like, at a bar, probably, like, talking to a guy and, like, my hands are on the bar, like, I feel like I might flirt. I feel like I play with my hair, like, a lot just, like, in general. I mean, it's, like, disgustingly long right now.
Mine is
Um,
too.
so it's basically to my hands, but I don't know. I definitely, like I mean, my voice will change for sure, like,
I think I do it when
1000%.
I'm nervous, but not
Yeah.
which can correlate with flirty with or like or anxious, which can correlate with flirting obviously, but I think it also might be someone she doesn't know that well, so she was kind of just like playing, you know what I
It
mean?
I think it could be mindless for a lot of women, like, just
And
to
obviously it
grab your
was for
hair.
her. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I think everyone will be fine. I'd like to see a photo of Ben if you have the opportunity. I won't show
yeah.
anyone.
Why don't you email us that? See hot Ben with our own
Maybe one
eyes.
maybe one of your friends can date Ben and then it'll all be fine.
Yeah, actually, that would be ideal. I'm actually just gonna, like, go right into a story, if
Okay,
that's
perfect.
cool, because it's a little bit on the long side. I'm, like, kind of nervous about reading it,
Oh,
but
for the reading
we'll get through
purposes or
it.
for the content?
Oh, for the reading purposes,
Yeah,
not the
I
content,
mean, we're
so
both brain dead, so
I know this is long, but I promise it's worth it. I'm telling a story, so there has to be context, of course. I was going to hold off until Drama Thursday, but honestly, this couldn't wait. Yesterday, I found out that the man I've been seeing since July, who randomly blocked me out of nowhere last month, has a whole ass girlfriend who is having a baby next week. To set the scene, in July, I met a man at work who I had my eye on for a few months. His name is Cam. He asked for my number and we planned a date for the next day. We went to Top Golf, had so much fun, and then went back to his apartment to swim. I was very hesitant to do anything with him for a few reasons, but mainly due to the fact that we worked together. I had a lot of past relationship trauma, so I didn't feel comfortable opening up with someone that quickly. We kissed, and then I told him that I had to catch an Uber back home. He was paying for my Uber, sending me money for food, and brought me flowers later that week. By the weekend, I had determined that his love bombing and level of intensity was way too much for me. He was asking me about how many kids I wanted to have, what I wanted, when I wanted to start having them, and if I believed in God, amongst other things, on like day one. It made me very hesitant, especially due to my past trauma, so therefore I decided to end it. I couldn't risk a relationship that I knew would not work out, and we had to see each other at work. For reference, I'm an ICU nurse and he's a respiratory therapist on our floor. As one could probably deduce, this was not indeed the last time we would talk. A week or two later, I hear from him again, and over the next few months, we would have a cycle of texting, fighting, me ending it, us seeing each other at work, him texting me again, and starting all over again. By the end of August, we had hooked up and continued the cycle of hooking up, him being weird and distant or not as nice to me as he was before we hooked up. I'm very self aware and reflective person, so after this happened, I would call him out for it. Around October, I told him we couldn't do this anymore and we stopped talking. About a month or so later, I started hearing from him again, and the cycle continued. I also wanted to be known that up until this point, I cared about this man, and the sex was not just sex, but I was not having strong enough feelings to want to date him or pursue him on a more serious level. That is when we had an argument in which he was trying to make me understand that it was my fault that we weren't working out because I was the one who was hesitant in the beginning. At this point, after all the gaslighting, I am convinced that I am ready to give him a real chance and try it out. I tell myself I do have feelings for him now and I actually allow myself to embrace it. 4 days later, while I'm traveling home for Thanksgiving, he tells me he bought a house in Pittsburgh and will be renovating it until March and then we'll move there. Mind you, this man is 23 and I'm 25. He'd been telling me since our first date it was a goal of his to save up enough money by the time his lease was up in April to be able to buy a house. So I tell him that I'm happy for him and we move on, continuing to talk as if he won't be moving in a few months. At this point, although I'm somewhat sad, it gives me more of a timeline of when this would end, which I always knew would happen eventually. After a few more weeks, we hook up again, and then 12 hours later, I get a text from him saying that he doesn't know if he can keep doing this anymore since there's no point to continue seeing each other since it'll just end in a few months. He also said that since I was hesitant in the beginning, he feels like my feelings aren't even real. I literally just replied, okay, because what else does one say when they no longer want to see you anymore and you were not even dating in the first place? I was furious at this point and hated him for having led me on and tried so hard this entire time just for him to end it the second I told him I was willing to give it a chance. I even opened up to him about how I was concerned that he was only in it for the chase, which he reassured me was not the case. He ends up texting me a few weeks later after seeing me at work, and I blew up on him. We eventually both expressed all of our feelings to one another about how much we meant to one another and decided to see each other one last time, even though I knew at this point I was emotionally in it way too deep. He texted me one night and I told him that he should pick me up after work, but that it had to be the second to last time, and the last time would be the following week, so we would actually have some more time together. He agrees, we hook up, then he drops me back off after. We text a little more until the following day, New Year's Day, and then I never heard from him again. I reached out a few weeks later to find out that I'm blocked, which was so confusing to me, especially since we still work together. I'm getting to the good part. It's been almost 2 months since we last spoke, although I've seen him at work quite a few times. Yesterday, I saw him and randomly was talking about him to my friends, saying how I want him to move already and I wonder where in Pittsburgh his house is. I randomly, thoughtlessly look his full name up on Google. The first thing that pops up, a fucking baby registry. Surely that can't be his. I look up the girl's name on Facebook, click on her profile, and there, right in front of my two damn eyes, is a maternity photo shoot with her and my man. The way my heart sunk to my asshole. I continued to scroll, obviously, and found that they'd been together since at least December of the previous year, but more likely longer than that. They went to the same college, so using context clues, I assume they've been together since then. She's also a nurse, which is so hurtful to me. This girl is due next week. So not only has she been pregnant since before we even started dating, but he's known about the pregnancy the entire relationship, going to the gender reveal, baby shower, and getting the maternity shoot done in the meantime. I'm so beyond confused and hurt. I don't know how one goes on from this. I don't even know how someone does this to someone else. The kicker is throughout the whole relationship, he would constantly be making jokes about wanting to get me pregnant. Like, damn, one kid wouldn't hurt or might fuck around and get me pregnant. So yeah, I'm not doing well. P.S. I did reach out to the baby mama and have not heard back. Don't worry, I'm in therapy and have great friends.
Oh my God. Well, that was going to be my first question, obviously, if she reached out, because that's insane.
I like the beginning, like when she like drops the bomb, basically like the guy that I'm with is
Hmm.
having a baby soon. Like it's ends up being actually so much worse.
Yeah,
So
because
much
it
worse.
like the entirety of the time is so crazy.
And then I mean it makes sense why he was acting like a fucking weirdo the whole time and an asshole.
I do think, like, in terms of moving on, I'm not saying this in a like, I obviously feel horrible for the woman who is birthing his baby probably as we speak, but
Mhm.
you're in a better position than her.
Then
And I
she
know that's
is.
not
Yeah.
like that doesn't I don't want that girl to be going through that either, but truly, like, you did dodge a bullet and you still have to go through it and like grieve it, but I in terms of just like moving on, it was gonna end anyway, and now you have a really solid reason to dislike him, and you don't have to see him. So I do think like you will be okay. It's just like it's a matter of how the fuck someone can do that. That's like the more of the brain. That's just a
Yeah.
mind fuck.
Yeah, like, not I don't wanna say luckily, but, like, there is a very solid evidence and a reason as to why you can't be with him, and there's no reason to even wonder, like, "What if?" Like, "What if he had stayed? Would we have worked out?" Like, shit like that.
Right.
And the fact that he's moving is a huge plus because then hopefully she'll never see him out of sight, hopefully out of mind at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, having to wrap your head around just, like, the evilness of doing that to not just her, but, like, to his girlfriend, or what we would assume maybe his girlfriend, his baby mama at least, like,
Right.
is crazy.
I mean, obviously, like it'd be one thing if he had gotten a girl pregnant and they weren't together and he wasn't telling her that, which would still be like, you do have to disclose that. But he's obviously they did a maternity shoot together. So it's not like he's not like it is his girlfriend, if not
Yeah, that's
fiance, you know what I mean?
pretty pretty damning for sure. I'm
Ugh.
honestly the I feel like I wonder if she went back and forth in the decision to reach out because, like, that's, like, not just telling someone, like, "Oh, by the way, like, the whole time he was with you, he was also with me." It's, like, the
I
father of
know.
your soon to be child, or child you're soon to have, like,
Yeah,
is a
that is
cheater.
like that is a tough like obviously you do have to tell her, but her literally
Mhm.
being due in a week, like that's so stressful for that poor girl. And I do pray for her. I really do. 'Cause that's
Mm,
horrible. But also, like, to
yeah.
fucking like, he was love bombing her too, so it's just and the pregnancy comments are so weird. So, like, that's just all even worse. I don't know, it's not even like and this wouldn't make it better, but it's not even like he was like, he had a full relationship with her, so, I mean, I'm so sorry, that's, like, foul.
And this man's a fucking doctor. Like, well, respiratory therapist, whatever. I don't know if that's a doctor
Yeah,
technically,
probably.
but still, like, oh my
Uh,
god. I feel like
yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
do, like, fuck ass shit like that in your personal life, like, if I'm trying to find a doctor, I feel like you should have to disclose that. Like how
also, like,
sex
with,
offenders are on a
a
list, like, let's
yeah.
get a list for that.
And a coworker too, like, you're keeping it so,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
close to home, I don't know. Ugh,
Mm,
and on top of that, like, everything aside, he was already treating her really weirdly by being, like, wishy-washy, I don't know. So, he sounds horrible altogether, and he will be better without her. I did think when you said that he bought a house, I thought you said that I thought you said, "We're gonna move to Pittsburgh." And I was like, "There's no way." But then she was, like, talking about him moving, so I put the pieces together.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, well, I'm happy he was buying a house for his kid.
No, actually, literally, it makes sense. Like, who what 23-year-old wants to buy a house? No one.
I mean, I don't know what 23-year-old can buy a house. I guess he's doing well in his career, but
Well, respiratory therapist, come
re
on.
respiratory therapist, yeah. I don't know. I really
Uh,
think, I mean, in terms of moving on, I know we already said this, never gonna see him again. He's a piece of shit. And then I think with these kind of situations, it's like, oh, how do people act like that? You can just sleep at night knowing that like you are nothing like that, and
mhm.
like he's just like a horrible person, and that I don't
Yeah.
know.
Unfortunately, your paths did have to cross, but you'll get over
Yeah,
it.
And, like, she tried to kinda, if I'm remembering correctly,
She
like, end
knew.
it too, and
I
he,
think
like,
she
wasn't
knew, like, she
having
had a
it, which
gut
is even
feeling.
crazier.
Yeah. No, he's the worst.
Horrible. Okay, I have, like, a pretty long prank story.
Oh,
'Cause, okay, a
yes.
lot of people
Yes,
sent
yes,
in
yes.
pranks after last week, which I was loving reading them. There's, like, so many good ones, and I love a good prank. So, she gave 2. "Hi, ladies, love the pod. After last week's episode about identity theft and pranks, I thought I'd share a couple stories. The first story is called Identity Theft." I love that she titled these. "When I was a junior and my brother was a sophomore in high school, I decided to steal his identity. I made a fake Instagram account and posed as him. His real Instagram username was first name, last name, for example, John Smith. So I made the fake Instagram's username, last name, first name, Smith John. I followed all of his friends and started posting pictures. Sometimes I posted pictures that made it obvious that it wasn't my brother. Like one time I posted a stock image of a beach when our family was on vacation. Other times I posted pictures that he was tagged in on Facebook and I captioned them as if I were him. Everyone started asking my brother if he got a new Instagram and he'd tell them no, he didn't have a new Instagram and please don't follow that account because he doesn't know who it is. He reported the account as well. He talked to me about it sometimes and guessed about which one of his buddies could be behind it. I always tried to act unbothered so as not to reveal that I was the culprit. Some of his friends wanted in on the action, so they started DMing the fake account, asking who was running it and asking if they could help. They started sending the fake account pictures of my brother when he was in class or hanging out with friends. This obviously confused my brother even more. This went on for 2 full years. One day I was away at college. I got a text from my brother saying, I know who you are. My stomach dropped just because I knew he'd found me out. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about. He explained that he tried to log into the fake account, clicked forgot password, and saw that my phone number was attached to the account. Obviously, there was no way I could talk myself out of that one, so I confessed. I then revealed my identity on the account, and people were commenting stuff like, I knew it had to be you, etc. We can settle that one first.
Oh my god, so she basically was like a catfish of her brother? That is so fucking funny.
But I just think it's beautiful because it's really harmless and it's not like they're
Harmless,
posting
so
anything
harmless.
bad. And it's like to just make, like, if I did that for Emily, that is some, actually, I did make like a Twitter account for Emily in high school and I
You
called it
did.
Patriotic Emily when she was
No,
wearing,
fuck.
but I didn't really
Uh,
post on it. Like, Emily did this shoot, which this is so funny. Oh my God, we should
I
post
can't
those.
I know, I was gonna say, I can't believe that I've been able to keep this photo a secret for so long with the pod, but it was gonna come
Oh,
out eventually.
yeah, we have to, I'm gonna post this today. But basically there was this like local photographer in our area who would do everyone's senior photos. Everyone knew just the name and it was in this like little boutique at near our high school. And they would choose girls to model for them and they would do like promo shoots and Emily was one of her models, which was like cool. But then she did have to do some kind of like weird outfits, which I obviously adored. She looked gorgeous in the photos, but there was one, like, I don't know why you had to do American themed. Do you know?
It
Do you
wasn't
remember?
even it wasn't even the month of July, I don't think, like, it was just, like basically, she had, like, an elevated costume bin, basically, and she's like, "We're gonna try a couple different looks out today," and me, I'm, like, 17 years old, I'm like, "Oh my god, fun, like, this is so
Yeah,
cool."
it is fun.
And then she hands me, red, white, and blue, like, stars and stripe leggings.
Mhm.
So I was like, "Okay, perfect." And she was like, "You can just keep your white shirt on." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I get heart-shaped glasses with American flags on them, a straw hat. I think I might have even had a scarf. And then the
Ah!
icing on the cake is that she put me in wedges. So and I'm pretty sure I'm, like, tilting my sunglasses down, smiling with my
Yeah.
hand on my hip, which is, like, a plain white background. Like, it was insane, and then I was like, "If my friends ever get their hands on this, like, I'm fucking toast." I didn't even tell them. And then the woman decides to post it on Instagram for the 4th of July, and obviously almost everyone from our high school follows this account, and I literally was like, "I have to go into witness protection now." Like, this is so fucked up, and the second cat saw it, I mean, she
I
would never let
ran.
me live it down.
I
Yeah.
ran with it, and I didn't really have a choice at the time. I can, looking back, I can see that being a little mean, but you have to imagine, like, I had a choice to make a Twitter account called Patriotic Emily, and I had a choice not to. What am I gonna
The
do?
The way that I'm pretty sure one of our friends literally DM'd us, like, over the weekend and said something about patriotic Emily, and I was like, "Not right now, please, actually." It's in the depths of my brain. I
Yeah,
don't
I
need
don't think
that.
I ever, like, posted anything, but it's such a funny idea to, like, make an account for someone and start especially in high school. I feel like that shit only works in high school because everything is so much funnier in high school, and, I just when the friends started contributing, I just can imagine, like, how fun that was for everyone.
Well, and it's, like, the long-term commitment to it too, like, 2 years later, that surprise of, like, who it ended up being is so much sweeter then.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I really applaud you, and the next one is actually, like, way crazier, so I'm gonna get into that one.
Wait, so was he an older brother?
I
Does it
think
say? I'm
so.
just trying to set the
I
scene.
I don't know. I think I assumed he was, but now I don't know.
I love that.
She said, "I was a junior and my brother was a sophomore," so she was a year older.
Oh, even better.
That's so funny. It really is great. Okay, and the second one is, like, insane, but I love it. Okay. The second story is called Watergate and takes place when I was a senior in high school. When I was on vacation, I had bought some clear gelatin at a prank store. The packaging said you could just sprinkle it into someone's drink and it would turn into gel, kind of like Jello. Obviously, I had to have it. I bought it and didn't use it for a while, but one day at school, I was bored and decided it was time. I sprinkled some gelatin into my friend's water bottle when he wasn't looking. The next time he went for a drink of water, he discovered that his water bottle had turned into gel and he started freaking out. I told him on the down low that I had sprinkled the gelatin into his water bottle. We joined forces and hit a few more people's water bottles. Then we asked another friend to go to the nurse and tell her that his stomach was hurting and that his water had turned into gel. He agreed, and the nurse didn't believe that the water was turning to gel, so she gave him a small cup and told him to fill it up with water from the water fountain so that she could see if he was telling the truth. After he filled up the water cup, he ran down to the classroom we were in so that I could sprinkle some gelatin in it. He went back up to the nurse, and sure enough, the nurse watched the water turn into gel. This is a little bit of like context, so in parentheses. I have to take a brief pause to provide some context for my school administration's severe reaction. Only a few months before this, our town had been on a boil order because our water was somehow infected from a storm or something. I honestly don't remember
Oh
exactly
my
what had
god.
happened, but surrounding communities had been donating water to our school because we didn't have safe drinking water. Then, only months after safe water was restored to our community, this prank happened. Back to the story. The nurse freaked out and told the principal that the water was turning into gel, and the principal decided it was necessary to shut down the water to all three schools in our town. They put plastic bags over the water fountains and told no one to drink from them. I did not expect such drastic measures to be taken, and I got spooked. I had a project to work on where I needed to visit the elementary school, so I completely abandoned ship in the middle of the chaos and went to the elementary school. When I got there, the elementary principal asked me if I had heard about the water turning into gel, and I lied straight to her face about it, a lie that still haunts me to this day. The school ended up investigating the matter further, and one of my friends cracked, so we all got in trouble. We got off super easy because one of the culprits' grandpa was the head honcho of the school board in our tiny town. Town politics came out in my favor that day, and all we had to do was write a letter to the city itself apologizing for our actions. That's it.
Oh my god. First of all, this girl, the way that she was like, "Well, I was in my local prank store and I had to just get the powder that turned liquid into gel." And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm in class bored one day." Like, I love her
It's
so
re-
much.
and like I just would be I just know like this is one of those people that I love because if it started like the nurse is going to the principal, I'd be panicking. I'd be having an
Freaking out,
anxiety
sobbing.
attack. I would
Oh my
be
god, I'd be
turning
breaking out in
myself.
hives.
Yeah, I'm like thinking about it now, and I'd be sobbing to the principal, being like, "Please, I'm sorry, it was just like a joke." But she literally headed out. She's like, "That's too much. I got to head out," and then
I
like, took it to the grave. Her friend ended up cracking, but she didn't crack.
I would haven't even I would have never involved any adults. Like, I would have been so
No,
scared. I also only would have done it to my friends. Like, I wouldn't have let that get out of our circle.
no, and it obviously makes it like way more iconic. But yeah, the nurse was a bold move. It was a bold move that I do have to respect. It wouldn't have been my move.
I thought she made it seem like they did all get in trouble, everyone that was involved. Did I mishear that?
No, they did, but she was saying one of the guys or one of the people who was also doing it, their grandpa
Yeah,
was, the head of the board, so
okay.
they just had to write letters. They didn't get in, like, actual trouble, but I'm saying she didn't ever, like, confess, like, one of her other
Confess
friends
to being the
cracked. Like, she did
yeah.
get in trouble, but she was never gonna be the one to tell.
I am so obsessed. I love it.
Yeah.
She's a goddamn genius.
I love this girl, and I love, I on Ride, they talk about harmless pranks all the time, pranks that don't hurt anyone. And I love anytime they talk about it. I love hearing about them in general.
It's so good. That and, like, a little harmless lie, like, it's so good. I'm so sorry about my dog.
That's okay. We're about to wrap up
I'm
anyway.
so fucking sorry. She literally must have just woken up.
Sorry if you guys hear a dog barking, it's not yours. Don't
It's
worry.
just mine. Sorry about that. Well, that was gorgeous. Continue sending us your pranks, you guys. Like, I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I'm happy to keep reading prank stories. Um, Thank you so much for listening. I'm gonna go see what my family's up to because I kicked them out of the house. Hopefully they're okay in my
And
RAV4.
I'm gonna go calm my dog down, I guess. No
Okay,
idea.
sounds good. Okay,
Okay,
love
love
you
you
guys
guys.
so
Talk to you
much.
guys
This was a
later.
fun one. Bye.
Yes. Bye.